Well, this is Jeannie with Norna Scraps, and I've been alluding to a way that I have of actually saving no-show mesh when I do my in-the-hoop quilting designs. And I think I'm finally ready to share it with you guys. Please understand, I've played with this. This is maybe better ways, but by far, this is my best way yet. I've done all sorts of stuff. Anyway, to describe what I'm using is I create a tacky open area or a tacky window in my hoop. But I'm not using a stabilizer. I'm not using paper. I'm not using anything like that. I'm using this amazing product that I happened to luck into, and it's made by 3M, and I found this huge roll, which is partially gone now because I've been using it at Lowe's. And it's the 3M, it's extra sticky duct tape, and it's a smooth side, it's a glossy side on here, and a highly, highly, highly tacky side on the other aspect of it. I tried the duct tape that you get at Michael's and Joann's, and I had no success with it. It wore out rather quickly, it frayed, it got caught, it was not pretty. It also was not smooth. This is smooth, and I think that's the big difference. But you can see I found it over by the blue painter's tape, in the aisle where they have all their tapes. And it wasn't expensive. I believe I paid $4 for this humongous roll. Now let me tell you why I like it. First of all, it's highly reusable. What is on my hoop right now looks pretty bad, but remember I've got cats. And I have already stitched in this hoop using this exact same tape. I have placed no-show mesh on the tacky part 16 times. So I've used it 16 times. And what it's allowed me to do is probably save at least 4 squares or a width of the no-show mesh that is equivalent to the size of my hoop. But let's go back to the beginning. How do I set my hoop up and what do I do? There's a couple things you're going to need to know. First of all, you've got to have your handy dandy 3M tape and blue painter's tape or Scotch tape. And then you're going to also need to know the stitching area of your hoop. Now on my Janome, my stitching area is not equivalent to my inner hoop ring. Why is that? Because I have an embroidery hoop that has to be able to get so far in the design. There's a couple ways of determining that. You can actually use templates that come with your machine, and that's what I'll be using to show you how I create or how I add my tape to my hoop. Or you can stitch out a box that is the maximum size that your hoop will hold. And when you stitch out the box, that will determine where you're going to place the tape. So let's go ahead and we'll fast forward now, and I'll show you how to put the tape on. Alright, I've removed the tape from the back of my inner ring. Set that aside because it's very sticky. And I want to show you, it actually pulls off really cleanly. I have a part right over here that I tore the tape on, so I've got residue. But a little bit of rubbing alcohol will actually take that off without even, you don't even have to blink to get it off. I usually keep a box of alcohol pads that I find at the pharmacy. Walmart, Walgreens, any of those, and I will occasionally wipe my needle if I'm using spray-on stabilizer. It helps keep my needle, sewing machine needles sharp, and not sticky as well. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm just rolling it off now, but I'm going to go ahead and remove that, and then we're going to set up our hoop to apply the adhesive. Alright, in order to cut my tape the correct size, I'm going to measure. I'm frugal in water or no-show mesh, and I'm frugal in measuring my tape. So from here to there, it's 7 inches. So I'm going to need 2 strips that are 7 inches long. From here to there, let me turn that around, it's about, I'm going to go with 8 inches. So I'm going to need 2 strips of my tape that are both equal 8 inches long. I'm going to turn my hoop over, and I'm going to place my template the correct way in my hoop. And then I'm going to adhere, and I apologize for the glare on that. I'm going to adhere my template or fix it to the inside of my hoop by using a little bit of blue painter's tape. And that'll come off just dandy, not a problem. I want to point out again that the stitching area of my hoop is this blue box. I cannot stitch outside of that area. So, let me see if I can get rid of that glue. I don't think I'm going to be able to. No. So I'm going to turn my hoop over, and now I'm going to apply my tape so that it actually lies just outside of those dark blue lines. I'm going to take one of my shorter pieces of tape. I'm going to come around to the side, and you can see that as I apply it, I have a little bit of the space next to that dark blue line showing. I didn't get that on quite snugly enough. You can see how tacky that actually is. So when I'm applying it, I want to hold it, put it on one side, hold it, and pull it slightly. Not too much, just enough to give it a little bit of, oh, I don't even know the word for it, just a little bit of lift. Again, I'm going to go to my opposite side, same thing. This one's cut a little bit small. Let me save that one for last. I'm going to go my long end, same thing, inside the blue lines, down one end, snug, adhere. And since my one tape is cut a little bit too short, I did not do a good job of making sure that I could get to my tape. Sorry. Another on the opposite long side. One end, snug, adhere. And now I'm going to, place my top tape. One edge, down, snug, adhere. And now I'm going to turn my hoop over. I'm going to press it down so that I can get it nice and snug on the back of my hoop. I'm going to go ahead and remove my template. And you can see that I've created a little table inside of my hoop. Just to verify, and I don't want to get this caught on my tacky, it doesn't have to be even, but it does have to be outside of that dark blue hoop. There you can see it. So I've got a margin for a margin of error. Now, you may not want to fold this up. You don't have to. You can trim it with the scissors. Please don't use your good sewing scissors. You'll really ruin them. So I usually just pull it up just to make sure that when I place this in my hoop, that my hoop is going to hold it. And it actually does create a nice little snug hooping for my projects. And I'll be right back. Okay. And now, I've got my inner ring inside of my outer ring. I've snugged it up using my screw. And now I'm going to add my one piece of stabilizer. How much stabilizer do I have to use? Well, in this case, and let's just do a little comparison, if I was going to simply hoop the no-show mesh, I would need a minimum of 10 to 11 inches across. And I would need a minimum of probably 12 inches lengthwise. With this technique, all I have to do is measure my window, and it's 6.5 by 7, and that's what I need. So you can see the difference between the 10 to 11 and the 6 to 7. It's quite a big difference. So I've got my no-show mesh cut to the 6 by 7, And when I place it in my hoop, I'm going to place the top edge and adhere it. Then I'm going to take my mesh and I'm going to slightly and gently extend it so that there's absolutely no wrinkles. From the inner center out, I'm going to place it on the sticky, and I'm good to go to my sewing machine. When I'm all done, all I have to do is take the corner very carefully, because this is new. Actually, it gets easier to pull off once you have something sewn on it. Take and pull it, and it just simply pulls off. And I knocked over my camera. And I can re-hoop another piece immediately. Same way. Top, down, bottom corners, if you can grab them. Pull so that it's smooth. And takes to the machine. I hope that helps you, and I hope that also helps you embrace the concept of using the no-show mesh with minimal waste. Until next time.